And then eventually, when you're not prepared to handle it, things explode.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to avoid. And that was where the point, it wasn't much time between I wanted to kill myself and me making those good steps.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to the Be Real podcast, where you get to hear real stories from real people. Today, I got my buddy Matt from my old jiu-jitsu gym that we used to train together. He's a Marine, and he's going to be talking about PTSD and what he's done to constantly overcome it. I hope you guys enjoy this conversation. So without further ado, here's the Be Real podcast. Alrighty, Matt Alaska. I'm just gonna call you that.
Take two.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, bro. So just tell us a little bit about your background, because obviously you're a Marine. So just give us a little bit of your background, kind of what you did and your experience and all of that.
To keep it real short and simple, I joined into my junior year. Kind of talked about last time, I kind of felt like I had a purpose when I was 18, and I felt maybe a little different than my peers. So I went to boot camp in September of 1997, and my job was aviation ordnance, which doesn't mean a lot when nothing's going on. And then, so I did my first 4 years there pretty uneventful. I did a few deployments. We still kept a presence in the Middle East, so Marines still get on the boat. We still hit a bunch of spots, and we still kind of, at the time, we were kind of waving at Saddam, being like, "Hey man, we're here, just so you know."
Oh really?
Yeah, they had like the Udairi range where they would drop bombs all the time, just to let them know. There was no flag zone that we were still in, we were still doing. It was kind of like to get indoctrinated in the Middle East. We were always prepping for something.
Yeah.
Right? Always getting ready, because you never kind of knew. And then I was actually slated to get out September 23rd of 2001. And on September 1st, I believe it was, I put my extension package in for a year, because I had a plan. It fell through. Long story, but it fell through, and then they approved it. So on September 5th, I was extended for a year, and then 9/11 happened, and we were already chopped to a unit. So we were already going to go on deployment.
Yeah.
And then they pulled us back off of our Thanksgiving leave and said, "Hey, we're going." We left a month and a half early.
Well, was there a big difference after 9/11, like in just the way that you experienced things in the Corps?
It was definitely a heightened sense of awareness, right? So I spoke about this last time. Like, we were one of the first non-F-18s to leave the ground. We were in a helicopter, and we flew to Fallon because we were doing a gun range up there.
What's non-F-18?
So non-fixed wing, right? So they had jets patrolling the United States to make sure no one else was going to fly over and do stuff, right?
Okay.
And so all civilian air traffic was grounded. And when we left Miramar and we pulled up over San Diego, usually if you're on comms, you can hear a lot of chatter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of frequencies and stuff like that. And we have our own frequencies and stuff. It's, things overlap, and it's crazy like that. There was zero chatter. And when you looked around, if you ever flew out of Miramar or Pendleton or anywhere like that, you could look around and you'd see helicopter, airplane.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was complete stone, dead silence.
And not everybody saw that. You specifically saw, because that's kind of your area?
Yeah, we were, and we had a great view, because we basically took Highway 15 up to 395, and then we took it, it was kind of funny. It was the first time I had kind of experienced like a pro-American since I had been in. People saw the we were flying low over the highway, and people were pulling over and putting out big American flags outside their sunroofs as we're flying over. So we were like, all right,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was different. And then when we landed on base, it was funny. I went to advanced party. There was only 3 of us there, and a couple pilots. And the first night we were there, it was a Navy barracks, and then the Marines were attached to them.
Yeah.
And, there was this big courtyard, and everybody's drinking, we're going to war, yeah, But nobody knew. It was kind of funny. We were still joking with them, like inter-service ride. We were like, no, we're going to war. You're going to give us a ride. But it's still, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. People start calling you, friends and family, and they're like, "Hey, what do you know? What do you know?" And it's like, I don't know anything. Like, you'll know when I know.
So it's just a completely different vibe to your previous 4 years.
It was you can play Marine.
Yeah.
Right? We played Marine. We were playing the part. Yeah. Right? We were doing what we were supposed to be doing. Then it became, but now you are a Marine.
Yeah.
Right, now this is what you trained for. This is what you built for. This is what all of these hours, all of this time, all of this redundancy, all of the, pardon my French, but all the bullshit that we did on a daily basis, the musters and accountability and all of that built for that moment. And then it starts to kind of make sense. And then it's like, we kept pestering. I had a friend that was in, he was in ops, and then I had another friend that was in S1, which are the guys who cut our orders.
Yeah.
So we knew that we were going January 16th. We knew we were going to go to the Middle East. We just didn't know where. And so we kept hearing, like, through the grapevine, right? It's the Lance Corporal Network, right? It's just, it's like the coconut telephone, right? You know, when you're in high school, somebody will start a rumor, and then it'll, you know, so it started, like, floating, like, hey, we're going to go early. I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, we're going to go early. Like, all right, whatever. So I started pumping my buddy for info. I'm like, what do you know? What do you know, dog? He's like, oh. He's like, well, so one night at the shop, like 7 of us just ganged up on him, like, tell us.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, you're going early. He's like, go see your families. You're going to leave. So we left on December 1st, which was about 6 weeks early. We steamed for Singapore. We retrofitted in Singapore. So basically, we made sure all our stuff was good to go. And then they were like, okay, we're going to go. We didn't know what we were doing yet. So we went off the coast of Pakistan, and then they were like, haha, surprise, you guys are going to Africa. So, yeah, we were like, huh? Isn't it fighting over there? And so we go to Africa for a month, and basically the whole point of the mission was is they had been told that Al-Qaeda was in Somalia.
Oh, wow.
So they put us on the border between Kenya and Somalia, and they wanted to actually see if people would shoot at us. So we would fly every day. You know, our crews would fly every day.
Testing people.
Just fly across the border, see if they'd shoot. We loaded them up every day. They were coming in from the boat every day. We did this for a month. Nobody shot anything. The only thing we did see was a bunch of, you know, lions, tigers, and bears. It's the best safari I've ever had in my life.
That's insane.
You'll never get a better safari for free than I got.
And you probably feel real safe because you're.
Yeah, we were packing. It's just like, but those things, you know, again, when you're there, you're carrying a weapon and it's loaded, but it's just there, right? And most of the time, we're like, I didn't put a magazine in. It's like, dude, okay, nobody's gonna shoot at us. Like, I'm more worried about a lion eating me than I am about some dude shooting at me right now. So we flew back to the boat. We were there for like a week, and then my gunny came in, and he said, good news. He says, we're going. He's like, but only a small group of us. And you know, we were kind of a mixed up unit, and I just got promoted, and I wasn't sure what my role was going to be yet. But he's like, oh, you're going. He's like, you're going to be basically a team leader. And I was like, okay. And I didn't know what that meant still. Yeah. So we flew off the boat. I'll never forget it. My buddy Goat was, they call him Goat, this little dude. He almost got in a fight with the guys getting off the boat. He's like, we're going right now. And he's like, we're going with that stuff. And they, you know, it was this thing, right? And that's when I started to like see people were, you know, like, all right, we're going somewhere. Yeah, so we went to a base in Pakistan. Don't know who owned the base. I'm guessing it was the agency or somebody. It was just this small little air base, and we just see people in and out all day long. And I had no idea where we were. So we were there for 3 days, and basically we did nothing. We slept on cots, trying to stay out of the heat, and we waited and waited. And finally, C-130 started rolling in, and they're just like, this is for you guys. So we jumped on C-130s, and we flew into Bagram.
Those are planes, the C-130s?
Yeah, big cargo planes. And so me, and then it was basically 75 total Marines from our entire ARG. So 3,500 Marines, they only wanted 75 of us. So we ended up getting attached to the 101st Air. It's because of what we did, right? Our mission was close air support with Cobras. And at the time where they were operating, the Blackhawks could get in there pretty easy. The Apaches are tank busters, so they're tactically they're not designed for like in mountainous areas. They're designed to sit out at a distance and shoot hellfires at tanks.
Got it.
Whereas Cobras and pilots, our pilots are trained to be, you know, like they're in the fight.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a guy shooting around on the ground, there's a Cobra 100 feet above him in the same fight.
Wow.
So that's and then a big part of it was the altitude. So
and the Cobras, are those like jets or?
No, they're helicopters. They're attack helicopters.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's bad. They're bad. It's the best sound in the world and the scariest sound in the world if you don't know what's coming.
Yeah.
Because you can hear it, and you don't know where it's coming from. Then they'll just pop up over a dune, and you're like, damn, I'm dead.
Jeez.
You know, greatest like thrill was doing that, and basically, so we had CH-53 Echoes, which are big cargo helicopters, and then the Cobras. Their engines could take the altitude. Hueys couldn't climb that high. Frogs are too slow. The Chinooks, the Blackhawks, the 53s, and the Cobras were what they used for close air support at that time. And then, of course, we had jets flying, and Bagram was kind of the push after Kandahar. So the 26th Marine Expeditionary Unit took Kandahar, and then I was attached to the 13th MU. Yeah, 13th MU that time. And so we ended up getting attached to the 101st Airborne. So our bosses then became Army generals. And so it was kind of this whole inter-service thing. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a really neat experience because I had not experienced that. But then you're in it.
Yeah.
Right? Now it's serious. Like I told you last time, we stepped off the plane. We were basically coming in from Africa. It was 190,000 degrees in Africa. It's snowing and cold in Afghanistan. And they're like, I get off the plane and the guy's like, don't walk there, don't walk there. And you can always see this like white spray painted line, an orange spray painted line. We're like, yo, what's that? And he's like, oh, we haven't cleared that for mines yet. We haven't cleared that for unexploded grenades. And, it turned out like that would touch close to home. It's the dumbest thing ever, but I remember we were sleeping one day and someone came in our hooch and they're like, hey, you guys gotta get up and gotta move. I'm like, man, we've been up for 3 days. I ain't fucking going nowhere.
Yeah.
I was like, you better have a reason for getting me up.
Yeah.
I'm in my underwear. It's cold. And I'm just like, out of my, I'm trying to get on my guy's sleep. And I'm like yelling at this person. I don't even know rank. I don't see anything. I'm just like, hey, fuck you. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
He's like, we just found like 6 unexploded grenades behind where you guys take a shit. And we're like, it was like 20 feet away.
My.
And I was like, oh, I guess we'll get up.
Yeah.
So we got up and, but all that stuff in retrospect, like I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it in any context. And I used the example last time of we had the Army guys, so we were fighting in this place called Shoko Valley. So my job was to get as close to the fighting as I could. And we would go out in 8-man teams, and we would do what are called forward army refueling points. The first couple of times we went out, we had no support. The last couple of times we had ranger detachments, so we had 30-man ranger platoons that were attached to us to be like, we need you guys to protect these guys.
Yeah. Because
their job is vital now. Which we felt cool. It was like, oh man, this is great,
Yeah, exactly.
Because we weren't sure if we landed on a spot, we would get mortared or we get shot at. And then there was a lot of special operations going on at the time. Whole different story. Those guys are crazy. So the birds go expend their ordnance, and they're close. They're like 2 minutes away, right? So you can hear the fight, and you can hear the guns, you can hear the Cobra firing its missiles, you can hear the Cobra firing rockets, and you can hear the 20 mic. It makes it it's like the AK-47, right? It makes a real distinctive sound when fired. The 20 mic when it goes, as an ordnanceman, it's like music to your ears, and but on the end of that, people are dying. Yeah. Right? But that makes no sense, right? Because you're young. So they come back, they land, they're still turning, the pilots jump out, take a leak, grab some water, we're slapping, new cans in, new rockets, Hellfires, whatever they got, whatever they want, we're throwing it on there. Yeah. And then basically when they take off, we move to another spot, because now we've been exposed. So now, So now the enemy knows, hey, this is where they're at, so we can mount something, we can go get them.
So you're never just stationed there, and it's always like constant like pack up and go?
We had pre-designed points, but those points were always, it was at the pilot's discretion if we landed there, number one. But it was also this big joint operation, which again, you're young, you don't see that. Yeah. There's a lot of levels that went into me doing what I needed to do. Yeah. You had our pilots doing stuff, they were, talking with JTACs and forward air controllers, and then you had guys on the ground like, get us close air support now. And then we had guys that would come back to us when we were back at Bagram, and they'd stop by our hooch, because we made it real known who we were. Like, we put signs out, we're like, the Marines are here. We're not Army, we're not SEALs, we're not this or that, the Marines are here. We named our hooch Ton Tavern. We put a big, chart. I still have the sign.
That's amazing.
Yeah, in my storage unit, I have the sign of what we made there. And they would come up to us and they'd be like, hey man, I just want to tell you, like, you guys saved our asses. Like, we were getting lit up, and I was like, well, I didn't really do anything, like, I just did my job. And, the pilots were pulling the triggers, and he's like, no, I don't think you understand. He's like, thank you. You saved a lot of lives. And I didn't, to me, 23, what do I know?
Yeah. Well, especially because all you can see is, like, what you're doing. Right. You're not seeing what the whole image is, like, the whole picture.
Really, it boils down to kind of like small unit tactics, too. Like, I had my team, there was another team, we had a gunny and a staff sergeant. And so the gunny took one team, the staff sergeant took my team, and then we all kind of worked in this kind of, so it's like, he's the figurehead, he's the guy getting all the information, and I'm the hammer. Yeah. Right? So my job is to make sure that we're doing things the right way, that no one's getting hurt, that we're getting ordnance where it needs to be. And there's a lot that goes into that. Yeah. So I had to revert on a lot of my training up to that point, and it's limited. Because when you're in the wing, you do a lot of things that aren't, you're not really, at FARPs at that time were new, so you're not really preparing for that. So, we learned on the fly, and the guys did great. Everybody came home, all your fingers, all your toes, nobody had to write any letters, and, but it was surreal. It was surreal to fly back to the boat as the only people who were in the combat zone doing what we were supposed to be doing, and then everybody's got these questions for you, and you're just like, dude, I don't know, we just did our job. Yeah. You talk a little shit with your friends, like, you're like, well, some of us have been in real shit, some, you guys have been sitting back here playing spades, whatever. Yeah. But, it doesn't, you don't put two and two together. till long after.
Yeah.
You know, and then that was Afghanistan. I actually hurt my back over there. I had to have surgery. So I was basically non-deployable for about a year. And then I volunteered to stand up with a reserve unit that was going back over for their second pump in 6 months. These guys were great. Say what you will about the reservists, but that's another part of the story, right? I got to see these guys, regular guys, right?
Yeah.
1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. They didn't think that they were going to have to do this. They did this maybe for college or, this, that, and the other. But
like different intentions.
Yeah, hey man, guess what?
You're going.
We're going to fight. And so I went over to Iraq with them, and that was a much different mission at the time. But still the same stresses, and the stress is daily, and it's kind of never ending. You put away a lot of the stuff, and I'm sure anybody who watches this will probably, again, I don't want to compare my situation to someone else's,
exactly.
right? I'm just saying, like, the stress that we run on a daily basis. Like, you talk about, my job, you have to make sure that every single, like, you have 40 aircraft, all of them got to be ready.
Yeah.
Because guess what? There's guys shooting at the guys flying those things. And the deployment before, they had actually lost their XO. He got shot. Got shot in the head. Came back, limp in the front seat. And I actually knew him. I'd run into him a few times at Ortega, so I knew he was a good guy. We had a major before we went on that deployment who committed suicide in his room. Don't know if it was from the last time he was there.
Wow.
So this is where you start kind of seeing the effects, right? Those guys, that unit really carried that individual. Like, his name was Ortega. They really carried him. It was like a daily thing. You could see it kind of manifest. Even when we were back in Pendleton before we left.
What do you mean they really carried him? Like the burden of what happened?
No, they just all felt, they felt his loss.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
They felt that presence no longer there, and they felt the sense of pushing on and doing it, making sure that never happened again.
Yeah.
And we were lucky. We didn't really, they lost one guy. We didn't lose anybody. We had, but my friends, I lost friends. I friends of friends, and different services. Like I had when I'm, a lot of guys. Some of the guys went to high school. Joined up. You end up making a lot of indirect friends, and you start losing people along the way. I remember when we invaded Iraq, one of the first people that died was a CH-46 went down. All of my friends were 46 guys. All of my friends were 46 guys.
They were all on there?
No, they were all in the community, right? But they don't tell you who it is. They just say, we know a 46 went down.
So immediately you just start thinking,
oh God, who did I lose? And it turned out I did. I lost a friend. And so I had wives calling me because I was recovering from my back surgery. And they're like, do you know anything? And I'm like, look, you're gonna know before I do. Like, I know what you know.
Yeah.
But that's stressful.
Yeah.
Because you're worried about your friends and you're worried about the missions that they're doing. And 99% of the time, you know that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And of course, it's just like everything else in life. You have this 1% where things don't go according to plan, or someone doesn't act right, and that's what gets publicized.
Yeah.
My friends helped rescue Jessica Lynch. No one talks about that. They literally were the guys that.
They always just talk about the crap.
That always, so that's where you start to kind of formulate the media thing, and and then you start to kind of see how stress manifests itself in the deployment cycle, because you have guys that are constantly deploying, and that stress just eats at you. And
But would you even say that there is almost more stress when you come back because you have people that are over there, or because it's probably completely it's culture shock, you know what I mean?
The easiest way I can explain that is like, so you have when you deploy, right, and you have this sense of detachment, right? Like, I was married at the time. I had no desire to talk to my wife.
When you were over there?
When I was over there. In Iraq, when I went to Iraq, Afghanistan, I was single, it was great. But, I was somebody that I was having problems at home.
Yeah.
And so I completely detached myself, and I was like, look, I'm calling you once a month. Yeah. How you choose to use that hour is up to you. You want to fight with me? I can hang the phone up. I ain't worried about you. Yeah. My job is to keep my guys alive.
Yeah.
And make sure that what I'm doing is not going to endanger the life of somebody else. I'm not worried about you need money, work harder. I send you money, you live at home with your parents, you have a job, you don't need I'm saving for something. I'm trying to plan for our future.
Yeah.
But you're like, I need this, and this. So
So you're carrying not only like the weight of all of that, but then you have the weight of war.
And in the long grand scheme of things, it really was nothing. But that stress starts to build up, right?
Yeah. Little things start adding up, and next thing you know.
Yeah. So you detach a little bit. It's almost easier while you're over there because you're in the moment, right? Just like anything else you do, you're gonna fight. You're in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, you train, you lift, whatever you do, you're in that moment. The pain is kind of secondary.
That's true.
Someone's choking the life out of you. Oh, better tap.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. Then when you get home, and I use this a lot. We came home from Iraq, and I was kind of new to the unit before we left, and you know, I did kind of form some bonds, and we were a joint unit, so we had 2 detachments that came together to form one. But I had a lot of guys like, we've been home 3 days, and they're calling me. They're like, we were off for a week, and they're like, hey man, hey Sergeant, we need to go to work. What do you mean we need to go to work? I gotta get out of my house. I can't be here. Why? Well, I just can't. You know, so I drive up to work. Yeah. You know, open the shop, whatever. Guys are there working anyway, so just go. I'm in cities and they're in cities.
And it's just because they're like in their head from like everything.
They just can't handle. It's a different pressure when you come home and the wife throws the kid at you and says, you gotta take the trash out. You gotta empty the dishwasher, you gotta mow the lawn. You gotta take me to the bank. You gotta pay this, do this, do this, do this. And you know, there's a reason that we're supposed to be allowed to decompress from that. So like when I came home, basically my entire family wanted to be there, and I was like negative. Like my brother was living in San Diego. I said, Kevin will pick me up, and that's all I want. Yeah. I don't want to see my wife. Yeah. I don't want to see my parents. And that's not.
It's nothing against him. It's just like what you need to kind of like.
And he thankfully was really understanding, way more than any person I had met up to that point. He's like, look, man, I'm gonna pick you up, take you to get your truck, and then I'm leaving my apartment. I'm gonna go stay with my girlfriend. My roommate is in the Navy. He's on deployment. I have this 2-bedroom apartment. It overlooks the stadium. You're gonna stay there. You do whatever you need for a week. You call me when you want to see me.
Wow.
And I was like,
that's amazing.
It was really, you know, the only thing we did is like he computered me in. I don't know what the word is. Like he got me on FaceTime with my parents, and at the time I didn't know how to do that. So we were like web, whatever, and he did that remotely because awesome. So he's just like. Yeah, man. If you're
that way, you can at least talk to him, but it's not like
It wasn't, and I actually waited to take leave. I didn't want to go right away because I knew, like, my wife and I were having problems, and I wanted to take some time to compose myself before I went to be around her. Yeah. You know, and a lot of guys didn't have that, so a lot of guys struggle. Guys and girls. We had females in our unit, and females kind of, you know, there's no distinction when you're over there, right? Yeah. You're all green.
Everyone is.
Yeah, everyone's doing the same thing, and like I said last time, you know, and the point I want to make there to everyone is that it didn't matter what you did. Yeah. Right? If you're in that environment, it's a pressure cooker. Yeah. With the lid is on tight. Yeah. For 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 13 months, however long your deployment is. You can't put into words what that does to people. It's not my job. These are my opinions, right? This is my opinion of myself and what I saw. Yeah. So it's important that people don't do that. Like, I don't care if you were an admin guy. I don't care that you never had a round fired at you. I don't care that you never even heard 1 round of indirect fire. Yeah. It's stressful to be young and at war away from your family. Yeah. And everybody reacts to it differently. Yeah. Which is what is going to get us to our topic today, which is PTSD. You know, and how it manifested itself in me. Yeah. And then, you know, kind of what I saw in other people. Yeah.
So transitioning into that, how did it manifest in you, and what was the certain, I guess, scenarios that you can look back at and be like, this started causing PTSD?
Initially, things that I noticed right away is that I was never anxious in my life. Yeah. Never. I got anxiety all of a sudden when I would, you know, I was stressed about a lot of things that I just was like, where's this coming from? Yeah. You know, my family kind of said, well, you're different. I was like, okay, whatever. While I was still in, I was transferring back to my old unit, and I went to medical, and we had this petty officer, and, you know, she wasn't the greatest corpsman, right? Yeah. She was pretty not okay. Yeah. That's the easiest way I'm going to explain it. So I go to her, and I said, she's like, hey, you got to go over here and see this guy. Okay. Get my medical record, go over and see this guy. Oh, no, you got to go back and see her. Okay. Go back and see her. No, you got to go over and see that guy. Okay. Go do it one more time. Go back to her. She's like, I was like, shut your. I screamed at her. Yeah. I was like, bloop, 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 do your effing job. Yeah. You know, yada, yada, yada. I was like, make up your fucking mind. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm part of my French, but that's what I was saying to her. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
You know, and so I just threw my medical record at her, and I was like, I'm done. And by the time I'd even gotten, I mean, my master guns was waiting for me at the door. Get in my office. And, you know, he had just come back too.
Yeah.
And so he pulled me in his office. He goes, you know, he like put his hand on his head. He's like, my nickname was Haas. Like, you know, big dumb white from the country, right? Like Bonanza. Right? So he's like, Haas. He's like, look, man. He's like, I know you just got back. He's like, I really want to kill you right now. He's like, but I'm not going to. He's like, are you all right? I was like, yeah, man, I'm fine. Like, not, man, yeah, Mr. Guns, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, like I told him a story and I told him a scenario. And he goes, do you think you would have reacted like that before? I didn't think about it. You know, I was like, I don't know. I was like, it pissed me off.
Yeah.
And he goes, but do you think you would have had that reaction?
Yeah.
And he goes, I just got back too. He's like, I'm going through my own stuff. And it was meant a lot.
Oh, wow.
I had a lot of
really
moments in my career where senior leadership talked to me and not got me out of bad positions, but got my mind right.
Yeah.
Right.
Just kind of checked you before
Right.
you got into a bad position.
Right. And so his thing was like, I'm not going to kill you. You are going to go talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So I had to go do some anger management, right? Which that's what I'm calling it. They had another name for it. I don't remember what it was. It was like supplemental.
Something stupid,
Yeah,
long and smart.
Yeah, but
the essence was.
Yeah, like they wanted to see if I was exhibiting signs of anger.
Got it.
And I really wasn't. There was just certain situations like, but that came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And I had other situations where, you know, and then I noticed the anxiety started to build because I got home from one deployment and they're like, hey, you're going again. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm getting out. I thought I wanted to go, but like I told you last time, I was going to go for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And that didn't dawn on me until it was too late down the road.
Yeah.
And when it was finally too late, it was it was poor form the way that I ended up really getting out because it was like I had promised that I would do it at a certain point and then I backed out. So I kind of felt like a punk for that. But at the end of the day, it was like I'd done my job. I had done enough. And I was not, I didn't get out like I got an honorable discharge, I got everything everything.
Yeah.
I felt personally like I let those guys down by not going, but then at the end of the day, I was trying to save a marriage and I was trying to do a lot of things in my life. And
that's hard, man, because I feel like you're just being pulled both ways, mentally and emotionally.
You are, and it turns out, I mean, that's probably, I don't live with a lot of regrets in my life, but the biggest mistake I ever made was getting out at that time.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what my life would have been like had I stayed in. I don't know I don't know what my life would have been like. I mean, I could have been a statistic. I could have easily been hit by a round. I could have just kept going and going and going and pushed it to the limit. And you know, you never know.
Yeah.
And for every person who's going to watch this and think that they were over there, like, oh, nothing ever happened, you don't know.
Yeah.
And at 40 years old, I can sit here and tell you, I didn't know what the hell was going to happen at 23 or 28 or 25 or any of those times.
Yeah.
Right? Life's crazy, and especially crazy when people are shooting at you.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I can't imagine.
The anxiety built because I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
And you were used to, like, the structure.
Oh, absolutely. And I miss that. Still to this day, I miss that, knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. I knew I had a mission every day. I knew what time that mission started. I didn't know what time it always ended, but I knew when it started, and I knew that I really enjoyed the leadership aspect of being a Marine.
Yeah.
I may not have been the greatest leader, but I tried hard, and you know, there were a lot of other great leaders in front of me that I should have patterned myself after, but I chose my own path, and I had a big mouth, and you know, those things don't always mix for, you know, whatever the reason. And I like to ask why. You know, I'm a question asker, and that's the problem I had with recognizing things that were going wrong. I never said, why is this happening?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize the impact of losing my identity, losing the core, losing that. Because my friends kept going on.
Yeah.
They're always going to be my friends.
Yeah.
But they had their missions to do. They had their own guys to get home. They had their own lives to lead. Yeah. So as soon as I left Camp Pendleton, I was an afterthought, and that hurts, right?
Yeah.
We're all sensitive at some point, and you know. But you still watch the news. You still. I remember seeing a Time article where my friend was in Time. He has a picture of him behind his 46. It was an older episode, but I remember I was out vividly. I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, this tree. I know him.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh shit, I hope he's all right. You know, like.
So like, do you think like part of you is like trying to hold at that moment whenever you transition out, because like you were saying, like you kind of deal with an identity crisis almost. do you think part of you is like trying to like hold on to as little of that as possible by watching the news and trying to stay informed? Or
I didn't try to watch news. I really didn't want to know, to be quite honest. Like, I just happened to see that magazine in an office somewhere, and I was like, I guess I maybe watched a little bit. You try to catch glimpses and be like, I was still getting the word from other people that were in. I still kind of knew, kind of who was where and who was doing what, but it's very strained, and so you lose touch.
Yeah.
And that hurts because you shared a lot with these men over almost 10 years. I shared a lot with these men and women, and not having them in my life had a profound effect.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was another part of loss that I was unprepared to deal with.
Yeah.
So I lost my identity. I lost money. I lost time. I lost a career. I lost my friends, and then I lost my friends. Right.
Yeah.
I
actually.
Yeah. I actually lost more friends after this. It hasn't stopped. It's just kept going. I've been out for almost 13 years. This year will be 13 years, and there's not been 1 year that I've not lost somebody.
Wow.
It's every single year, and recently, I lost one of my best friends, and I know he struggled in his own way. We'll get into that in a minute, but I had all these things going on, and I had a bad marriage, and then I had some vices that started to that's where it started to manifest itself. I drank too much. I started to get short with I was never physically aggressive with my wife, but we just got in these altercations, verbal altercations, time after time after time again, and it was, like I said last time, scream, drink, and scream, drink, and then miserable.
And before serving, you weren't like this? Like in high school, you were like not a hothead kind of.
I was the biggest teddy bear. Like I'm sure my high school friends will attest. Like I won't say I was like super popular. I guess I was all right. Like I said that last time. I had a chance to kind of reassess. Like I had. It took me a little while to make some friends. When I got them, I had some really close friends for that time, that growing period in your life.
Yeah.
And I was known, right? Like we had 1,200 kids. Like I was easy to pick out. I was a big. I was a football player, and I played basketball, and track, and whatever.
Yeah.
I wasn't a stud, but I was different than a lot of people. We were poor. I lived with my mom. We were poor, and it seemed like everybody had all the money in the world. And, but once I joined the Corps, I had this purpose. So it made me different.
Yeah.
And I was not. I got two fights in high school. I don't remember. The last one was like literally right before I graduated with a guy that I was just like, it wasn't even really a fight. We were like messing around, and something happened, and I just threw a punch.
Yeah.
And then I hit him, and I was like, "Are we done?" He's like, "Yeah, we're done." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
We were on a bus trip, and it was like, "What's going on?"
So you were super calm and chill, and then after you served, you were more like
aggressive.
Irritable and aggressive.
I was aggressive.
Were you ever able to like identify why that happened?
You start putting two together. I went to the VA, and at the time they had an overflow of guys getting out, and so I didn't want to be somebody sucking up money or time from the system. But I also feel like at this point, we earned the things that, like, I earned this part of me now.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to take care of it. It's their place to take care of it.
Yeah.
And, that comes all the way forward to where I work now. But, when I initially went in the system, they ask you these questions and they give you a rating, and, you just try to go through with it, and you're just like, oh, whatever. But then it kind of dawns on you, like, no, but there's something wrong with me, right? Like, my emotions are not right. Yeah. So I went back, and they readjusted the percentage, and they were like, okay, you're manifesting this, right?
Yeah.
You do have this kind of, they said somatoform mood disorder, and then it says concurrent with PTSD, which is what they were saying at the time. And then that's slowly morphed.
It's just all PTSD.
Yeah, it's all PTSD, which I hate the diagnosis, and I hate there's a stigma attached to that word for the veteran community, and that's part of why I'm doing this too, is I want to say it's okay. Yeah. Right? It's okay to say those words because you're not deformed, you're not deficient, you're not derelict, you're not anything. Yeah. You're just working your way through something. Yeah. And you don't have to be demonized because of it. And a lot of that, the media, right? Yeah. If I go out and do something, what's the first thing the media is going to say? It's not going to say, Matt Histon does this, it's going to say, former Marine with PTSD does this, this, and this. Yeah. That may not have nothing to do with the whole situation. Yeah. It's just a part of what's inside me now that I got to deal with. Yeah. And so we have a lot of people, killing themselves
Yeah.
Because they feel like they don't have anybody to talk to, and they have a lot of people that are going through the same things I went through. Drink too much, impulse control. I told you last time. I still struggle with that. I'm very impulsive.
Yeah.
Not so much dangerous. I'm just impulsive, like money, or if I want to do something,
you're gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I think about it later. And unfortunately, it's turned me into kind of I don't know, like a prick when it comes to dealing with relationships.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. I don't really care what you think.
Yeah.
And so my relationships have suffered.
Yeah.
I have not had a successful relationship, ever. And do I think that it's a part of it? A small part now, right? Because it's minimized over time. Because I've learned how to kind of take control of myself.
Yeah.
Concentration. People think I'm ADD. I'm not. But for me, though, I'm in school now, and sitting down and reading a book is extremely hard. Because my mind just doesn't, like when I was in high school, I was a bookworm.
Yeah.
I loved to read.
Oh, wow.
I probably read 5-6 books a month.
Yeah.
Every month, like clockwork.
Dude.
I was just.
And what have you been able to identify that caused you from like being able to be super attentive to now like pretty much ADD?
It's part of that. It's part of that process. It's part of that.
The whole PTSD.
Yeah, it's part of that designator. It's part of that how it manifests itself. It may manifest itself more in me than it does in others, but I think people need to understand that if they're having trouble concentrating, if they're lacking impulse, and that impulse control is identifiable in what people do.
Yeah.
Right. So they drink too much. They use drugs, and my friend that just passed, drugs are the worst thing.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about it last time, where I felt like he was heartbroken because he never went to war. Like he never went over there, but he did something else that was super amazing in Marine Corps terms. But he struggled from the time he got out till the time he died with his identity, and because he held on to it,
and he was comparing
it to me, comparing it to our other close friends, and so it's fresh for me, right? I just talked to his mom today, so it's fresh for me, So seeing somebody with the kind of a different set of problems other than my own, but they kind of fall under that umbrella. It was impactful.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of the big things, and the anger, right?
Yeah.
And then that anger, what does that anger turn into, right? So you have these kind of things. Violence, right? You have concentration, impulse control, and these are all things. And this is the point that I made last time. I want to make the distinction between me. And someone who's been injured and has like a traumatic brain injury. There is a difference, right? They have had their brain's been altered by injury.
Like physically.
Physically altered. So I still retain the right to make a choice. Some of those folks don't. So there needs to be a discussion about that. They need to be in a different category, and I'm not talking about them. Because they need the most help. They need the medical help, the pharmacological help, the occupational help, the psychological help. All of that extra stuff, they need to really be looking at that, because those guys, I'm humbled by them. Right? And I don't want to make my petty problems seem anywhere in relation to theirs. So there needs to be some kind of talk about that in the future. So I'm talking to everybody out there who served. I'm talking to first responders. I'm talking to victims of violence. I'm talking to all these different people.
I was gonna say, even like the whole stigma of PTSD is like you have to be in combat or some sort of situation like that. But people suffer from PTSD from car wrecks, from abandonment, from like infidelity, like things like that, being left. Like it's just, I guess you would just say, I don't know if you. This is why I'm asking you, because you've like done your research and things on that. But would you say that it just like manifests differently and embodies itself differently in people depending on their situations?
I want to be delicate when I address this, but I also want to give like some straight truth. My opinion, right? This isn't a medical. I said we shouldn't compare, and I'm saying that for each individual person who has whatever struggles they have, right? I'm not going to compare myself to someone who suffered from physical violence. I'm not going to compare myself to someone who suffered from abandonment, or whatever the issue may be. If you go to Chicago right now in the hood, and there are some people with PTSD because they live in a war zone. Right? It's very comparable. But to the same token, I don't want to marginalize the descriptor of everything. You know, I may not understand that right. Like we're there has to be some kind of comparison. There has to be some kind of order, right? And I think it all also relates to how somebody is presenting what's wrong with them.
Got it.
Right? Like I talked to you about, like I love Instagram. Anybody who knows me, my Instagram, I follow like 9,000 people. It's like 8,942 hot chicks, you know, 15 people who like dogs, and 14 people who travel.
And then you post every now and then.
Yeah,
and
yeah, just like an angry post.
Exactly.
But I'm not, all of my posts, never, you know, I'm in the moment, right? Oh, the Eagles are losing. God, why is this happening? You know, that kind of thing. Or you know, I see some kind of thing. I heard something on the way out here, you know, some guys on the radio, like, I needed to live my truth. I'm like, bro, this life.
Yeah.
Life, there's no more truth-telling thing. Just living is your truth. Like, you don't need to say it.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, he was like, oh, you know, I had this problem, I had that problem, and I was so, you know, blah, 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 and I'm like, you know, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're more respected for saying it that way than some combat guy that comes back, or some police officer who's living daily knowing that his life could end. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's the big part, right? Why do people have PTSD? Because you wake up in a world where it could end in a second.
Yeah.
You live with that every day.
Yeah.
And it's just like you know those Russian dolls that you take apart, and there's one inside the other. Put them things back together, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Jeez. Right? And so that's where this happens. So for, you know, people want to marginalize the disorder to get likes and comments. That I have a problem with.
Yeah. That
I have a real problem with. We're not the same.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not here so people can be like we're friends, right? Yeah. So you ask me, because I have a knowledge on a topic you want to talk about. I'm here to help you, but I'm also here to help, hopefully, one person that may be struggling just a little bit. Yeah. Right? I don't care if you like me personally. I don't care if you like what I have to say. Yeah. But, you know, we're not the same in that regard. I'm not doing this for show. And I don't like the people who do that. So I want to say that I typically kind of rate them a little bit lower. So I indirectly compare them, but I don't put them on my level. I want to talk to the people who are struggling and feel like they can't talk. Yeah. Right? Not the ones who are like, look at me. Yeah. You know? And
that makes sense.
You know, not saying that what they went through was invalid, but I have a problem with the way that they're addressing their need. Yeah. You know, I have a problem with the way that they're focusing on themselves, but not on the problem. Yeah. Right? Like, I'm sitting here telling you that I'm someone who I wanted to kill myself. Yeah. I had a plan. Yeah. But I also made a choice. Yeah. You know, there are other people like me out there who did that. And my journey, like I told you, my dad was in Vietnam 2 tours. Yeah. He has PTSD. He will never admit. My grandfather was Iwo Jima, Saipan. I don't feel worthy when I'm in the room with them. Yeah. You know, my grandfather's passed on, my dad's still alive. But I never talked to my dad about, we talked about kind of the fun stuff. Yeah. We never got into specifics. Yeah. I knew guys that served with him. I talked to guys that served with him, so I know what he went through. Yeah. It's incomparable to what I went through. Yeah. His level of horror. Yeah. And fear, and just, you know, talk about living in the moment. Yeah. Most of the guys you live with had 18 moments. That's how long it was. They landed in the LZ, 18 seconds, boom, dead.
Golly.
Imagine that. Every time you lift up on a helicopter, you land somewhere.
You don't know.
Don't know.
You don't know.
So he did that for years. Yeah. 2 years. Vietnam. I mean, crazy.
But so, if you would have compared yourself to that and like your experience to that, then the whole time you would have just built onto what you're already dealing with. Because even while you were over there, you were still dealing with, we could get bombed at any time. We could be attacked at any time.
And red fire, you know.
We could go take a leak and step on those grenades.
The pressure cooker was always steaming. Yeah. Right? And then you throw in the day-to-day stuff that you have to deal with, like relationships matter over there. You know, because that ultimately is how you get through your day. The guy next to you, right? And sometimes you don't like the guy next to you. Yeah. Sometimes, matter of fact, there's guys I still dislike to this day. Yeah. You know, I shouldn't carry that 15 years later, but there's some guys I'm like, if I see you, I'm going to have to flip a switch between want to knock you out or shake your hand. Yeah. You know, because there were some punks. Yeah. You know, and you know,
and you can't get away from them.
Can't get away from them. You're stuck. Yeah. What are you going to do? Walk off the base?
Yeah.
What do you walk out in the middle of the desert?
I'm curious, in training, did they ever teach y'all how to deal and process stress?
No.
Really?
We got these.
Really? Not even a stress ball? They didn't give you a stress ball?
Okay. Inter-service joke, maybe the Air Force, not us. We had these forms to fill out. We had them in Afghanistan. I remember filling them out vaguely when I got back, and I remember in Iraq filling them out, and it was like, one of the questions was, did you see dead people? Pretty common over there.
Yeah.
You're going to see at least one, right? Did you experience indirect fire? Did you do this? Did you do that? And I remember filling it out, honestly.
Yeah.
My sergeant major grabbed me out of formation, said, fix it. Said, don't put that shit on there. Change it. Here's a new form.
Why?
Political, whatever.
Wow.
You know. And I was the only one.
That was something about ratings or.
I honestly, to this day, I don't know. I just remember him pulling. I was the first sergeant, and he was kind of a douche anyway. So I was like, whatever, man. You know, I just want to go home.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about Juan Berto's carne asada fries and a big horchata. And
Yeah.
I was like, that was on my mind. I was like, just whatever gets me on the plane faster, dude. You want me to fill this bullshit out? I don't care.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's not until probably I'm gonna say, the war is generational now, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about guys who serve now, who were over there, who were toddlers when I went.
Yeah.
Who may not even. Well, let's see. I went. So we're 20. So next year, so 2020, I was in country end of January, February 2002 in Afghanistan. So next year, the kids that are gonna go are 18.
Wow.
Not even born yet.
Wow.
Right. So this is generational now.
Yeah.
I would say that there's a much higher prevalence of understanding that now. And there's a great story. A guy I talked about before, Dakota Meyer,
Yeah.
Medal of Honor winner. He talks about it in his book. He talks about it on his podcast. When he lost his team, and the mission that got him, that he was awarded the Medal of Honor for, when he lost his team, the Marine Corps flew a psychotherapist out to his base. And that their job was to address the need of the men who served in that unit.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't mandated, but that psychotherapist is the reason that he was sent home. Because he was like, I'm ready to die. I'm ready to go. If I have to walk off this base and kill all of them right now, I'll do it. And
Dude.
he talks about,
Because he was dealing with so much
he said
mentally.
he lost his team, and he considers that I love his response to certain things, and maybe people think he's being cavalier or cocky, but he's like, someone asked him, well, where's your medal? He's like, I don't let my daughter play with it. Because to him, that's the greatest defeat of his life.
Wow.
Walking off the combat field with dead comrades. Think about that,
Yeah.
right? This is the man who's awarded the highest honor for bravery, and if you read that citation, it is epic.
Yeah.
And I get goosebumps thinking about it. Like just
Yeah.
what he did on that day is, I don't have words for it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not, I don't. But he considers that the greatest defeat of his life because he didn't bring everyone home.
Wow.
And he's like, I should have died that day too. And he very well could have. If you read the book, read the story, I mean, it was a crazy day. He talks a lot about his struggles, and he's someone I certainly relate with. But it also, he was the first time I had heard of, let me circle back, he's the first time I had actually heard of the Marine Corps and acknowledging combat fatigue.
Oh, wow.
In this generation. This is 2009.
Wow. So barely started working on it.
They had started to kind of put two and two together. Why are people killing themselves? And it wasn't just guys out.
Yeah.
Active duty guys are killing themselves.
Yeah.
They're coming home and they feel like they don't have a release, or whatever the problems are. They're just, so now they've really started to address this. So now you have this kind of seismic shift. And another issue, a thing I take issue with is people using it to their advantage, right? There's always going to be that.
Right.
Like,
that abuse it kind of thing.
Yeah, like if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough, or I don't like that. Like, we need to come together as a unit to help the people who we can help. And don't say things to get money. Don't say things to get support. Don't say things. Don't puff yourself up. I'm not sitting here telling you I'm some kind of hero.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here telling you 100% unequivocally that I just did my job.
This is what I walked through, and this is how I want
This
to.
is how I am.
Yeah.
And this is how I want to get better. And this is how I want to help.
Yeah.
Dakota Meyer, Jocko Willink, all these guys we talk about. Matt Best put a new book out. Thank you for my service. He talks a lot about, his own struggles. This guy's a multimillionaire now.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't have to work a day in his life ever again.
Yeah.
He's 32, 33 years old.
And he's still got struggles.
Still got struggles. He considers the loss of his platoon sergeant as his worst day.
Wow.
All these guys, there's all these little... Derek White, he is a amputee CrossFitter, and he is a very, very good example of the current state of mental health. He struggled constantly with this, right? And he puts his feelings out there. He lets people in, right? And that's another thing we have to do. We have to let people in. We have to open the door and say, I need help.
Yeah.
So that's kind of all part of it.
Yeah. So what did you do practically? Like, if you could give us 3 things, what did you do practically to kind of start overcoming PTSD and not letting it like overtake you? Does that make sense?
Okay, so it's like 1, 1A, 2, and then 3.
Okay.
So 1A, I had to admit that I had a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be real with myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? I had to look in the mirror and I had to look at myself and be like, this is not who you want to be.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. And part of 1A was admitting that it was okay,
Yeah.
right? It's okay that I'm struggling now,
Yeah.
right? And I had to address the loss in my life.
Yeah.
1B, I didn't want to be medicated. And unfortunately, and fortunately, this is a double-edged sword. The VA, when you go into the system, and at the time, the tendency was to throw meds at you.
Mm-hmm.
First package I got was like 11 meds.
Golly.
And I took...
Like 11 different types of pills?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, I had some physical stuff going on too, so I mean, they were trying to treat everything.
But still.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and I felt like a zombie for like 2 days. And I said,
wow.
I took 2 pills. I took 2 days worth of this regimen, right?
Yeah.
And basically at the time I was having my back had flared up again because I was so fat because I was eating everything in sight. So I got down to where I was just taking like the tramadol because I didn't want to have heavy pain pills. My wife at the time was addicted to pain pills, so I couldn't have anything heavy for me.
Yeah.
So that was kind of another thing I was struggling with. I didn't want to be medicated. So I'm not telling people not to be medicated. I'm telling people to educate yourself on what they're sending
That's
you
really good.
and decide if that's what you want to put in your body.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not here to talk about vices, right?
Yeah.
If you drink a little, you dip, you smoke, whatever's your thing,
Yeah.
okay. You're adults. You don't need me to give you the lecture, and I've got to give myself a lecture every day. I still got it, right?
Yeah.
That was a big thing for me. I didn't want to be a zombie because I wanted to feel.
Yeah.
I wanted people to. I was cold,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to feel some stuff again, you
Yeah.
know. And so I had to do that. That was 1 and 1A. 2. I had to get in shape.
Yeah.
You know, I had to find. It's stupid, you know, when you think about it. But going to the gym is purposeful.
Yeah.
In more ways than one, and it, you know, in essence, it's saved my life.
Yeah.
Because when I got to that point where I was thinking about killing myself, part of it was I was vain. You know, and
wow.
it was, look at this fat tub of shit in the mirror.
Yeah.
You know, who is ever gonna want this? Who's ever gonna want to be my friend? And I started feeling sorry for myself.
Yeah.
Right, and again, that's part of the process, right? It was part of the identifying loss,
Yeah.
an identity crisis, right? Midlife crisis at 28.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what I was gonna say. Do you think you you felt like you lost value when you came out of the Marines, and then you devalued yourself?
100%. Yeah, and I devalued everybody around me.
Oh wow.
You know, I devalued my relationship with my friends and my family and my wife and my ex-wife, all these things, right? All these little things, right? And it wasn't until I saw myself in the mirror one day. I remember it vividly. I worked out at a gym. It was 2 floors. I had just put up like 425, right? I was like, man, there's a mirror walking from the first floor to the second floor.
Yeah.
I got up the first flight and I looked at myself and I was like, 7 chins, just fat.
Yeah.
And I stood there probably 5 minutes. I'm sure people thought I was weird. But I was like looking at myself and I was like,
Oh wow.
And this was kind of rock bottom for me, right?
Yeah.
Or what I thought was rock bottom, whatever that low point is.
Yeah.
I was like, this may have been it, because at the time I had this kind of perfect whirlwind of problems in my life.
Yeah.
And I caught myself and I said, this has got to stop. You know, and I just happened to see a flyer for a martial art that I was familiar with. It was Krav Maga. I started doing it a little bit when I was in the Corps, and I walked upstairs and I talked to the guy who ran the school.
Yeah.
And he said, love to have you, come on in. Like, started me on the right path.
Yeah.
You know, I did that for a lot of years. I did that for 3 years, I think.
Just exercise, just moving.
Exercise. I started eating like a normal human being, and I started doing Krav Maga. I quickly lost like 30 pounds, and then I was over 300 pounds, and so I got down like 270. I started feeling better about myself, and that 2A decision, I started doing Krav Maga, and I got really heavily involved in it. I was doing seminars, and I was teaching at the school, and I was part of that.
Yeah. That
he was building, but it was never gonna be mine.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you know, you just kind of like, I had grappled a little bit when I was younger, and I said, man, I want to do this again. Yeah. And he was kind of opposed to it, and I said, well, it's martial arts, like we should be experiencing all, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so the best decision I made was going to East Texas, mixed martial arts, is owned by this guy named Drew. I walked in, I said, I teach Krav Maga over here, but I don't want to do Krav Maga here, I want to do Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah. And
he said, okay, as long as you don't show what we're teaching here over there, so no problem.
Yeah.
And that was the best. That day was like the rebirth.
Yeah.
You know, like jiu-jitsu fundamentally has helped me in my life.
That's amazing.
Because it humbles you daily. Yeah. And I needed that. It's weird to have somebody say like, you're at a low point, but you need to be humbled again. Because even in a low point, right? I talked about being vain.
Yeah.
Like, how can I be vain? Look at me.
Yeah.
But I needed that. And then again, I met somebody in the process. You know, his name's Matt, Purple Heart recipient, 145 pounds dripping wet, kicked my ass every day for like 6 months. Yeah. And I was like, there's no way this guy should kick my ass. Yeah. We didn't know anything about one another, other than he was a blue belt, I was a white belt. Mm-hmm. And then I talked to him. Oh man, yeah, he's like, yeah, I was Ranger, and I made it real humble. Mm-hmm. I made it through selection, and we got deployed, and got shot with a mortar. It was in my stomach. I went in coma, almost died, cried hard. And I'm
like, rewind just a little bit, bro.
You? Yeah. Bro, just, that guy doesn't know how grateful I am to him. Yeah. You know, we're not as close as we probably should be today. Yeah. He moved away, started his life. He actually works for the VA too. Him and his wife, she's a nurse, he's a respiratory therapist. They're out in California, or in Oregon, I'm sorry. He was my beacon for okayness. Yeah. Right? Like, this is somebody who had it much worse than I did. Yeah. This is someone who could have died. Yeah. This is someone who lost a lot of friends. This is someone who had all these things. And here he is, smiling. And he was the one who told me, he's like, whatever you need, I'll do. Yeah. You know, he's like, you want to smoke weed? You want to drink a beer? You want to go for a walk? You just want to kick my ass? He's like, whatever you need from me, I'll do.
He's willing to be that outlet for you.
And it was just nice to have somebody to talk to. He invited me over on Thanksgiving when I didn't have a place to go. Yeah. Right? I just literally separated from my wife, and you know, I didn't want to come home because I was like, there again, I'll go failing again. Yeah. Right? But he understood. Yeah. And he's like, my wife and I are cooking. Come over, eat dinner with us, go to work. Okay? Yeah. And then he forced me to. Yeah. You know, and so he did more for me in those 2 years that we were hanging out.
And just simply because
of who
you got to talk to him?
No, just because of who he was. Yeah. He was humble. He didn't he was the one indirectly saying, you're going to be okay. Yeah. Like, if I'm here every day, you're going to be okay. Yeah. And then our other instructor, Chad, purple belt, big guy, you know, should move like he does. And like I told you last time, he handled me at times, like in a good way, right? He never, you know, it was, I think I'm older than him, but he still kind of ended up being like my bro, right? Like my big brother kind of, because here's a guy, you know, letting me kind of express myself with jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Right? Oh, you need me to open up the gym 7 days a week? Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Oh, you need to train a little bit more, you need to come in early, stay late, whatever you want to do. Okay, I'm going to find somebody to put with you because I got a wife and kid, I got to go home. Yeah. You know, but I'm going to do that for you. You know, oh, you want to work on a technique that maybe you saw on YouTube, whatever. Yeah. Whatever you want to do, I'm here.
It's almost like he understood that you just needed that outlet, and he was just willing to give it to you.
Well, he's telling me, he's like, man, I respect you. I was like, for what? I'm a piece of shit. Yeah. Right? At the time of my life, I was like, I'm a piece of shit. Like, why would you respect me? For what you did. I was like, respect Matt. He's a hero. I'm a bum. he's like, "You're not getting it." He's like, and then I started being, okay, I'm not a hero. It's okay to accept my past and be present in the moment and be okay with it.
It's funny how we accept our past as in like our garbage.
Yeah.
Like we don't let it go, but any good, we don't let it be celebrated.
Yeah, don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, a lot of vets don't want to celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be celebrated. I'm very, very. I love our country.
Because there's pain that comes with that. So,
and
that makes sense.
And a lot of it, like I said, if we're talking about PTSD, a lot of the things that I had going on are probably minor in a lot of ways, but they build.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just like I said, that doll, you just kind of keep adding another layer to it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when you're not prepared to handle it, things explode.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to avoid. And that was where the point, like, it wasn't much time between I wanted to kill myself and me making those good steps.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of guys don't make that leap.
Yeah.
And so that kind of is like the third part. It was indirectly I found someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And
so the third part is talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody. The hardest. This is gonna sound like the most insensitive thing I say all day. It's like, stop being a punk.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't man enough.
Yeah.
To overcome by myself.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
6'2", 225 pounds.
Yeah.
I've got tattoos. I go to the gym. I do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm
the definition of a man.
Yeah, I'm a man's man.
Yeah.
And inside, I was just a big heaping pile of shit.
Yeah.
So it was like, you gotta be man enough to admit when you've recognized the problem and not be afraid to let somebody. You're not judging. You're not getting judged for it if you're talking to somebody who has a like mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And whatever your thing is, right? Like if it's religion and you want to talk to your pastor, or your Bible study leader, or if you're jiu-jitsu, you want to talk to the Brazilians, like they have no concept. They're always happy. They're just kind of like, what? Oh, porra. That kind of, but guys you train with, like-minded individuals. The vets gotta talk to vets. Police officers got to be able to lean on other police officers.
Yeah.
Victims of trauma have to be able to lean on other victims. That's why they have victim advocates. That's why typically you won't find an advocate that hasn't experienced trauma of their own.
Yeah.
So why would you limit yourself to just being like, I have no one to talk to? There's 172,000 active duty Marines.
Yeah.
They're all going to get out someday.
Yeah.
That's 172,000 just this year.
Yeah.
Times that by 50.
Yeah.
Yet millions of people you can talk to.
Yeah.
That doesn't include the Army, the Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard, whatever.
How did talking to someone for you, how did that help you out personally?
Again, a guy like Matt,
Yeah.
Like what was I gonna say to him?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my life's so much worse than yours?
Yeah.
And then he would have just choked me unconscious and be like, you're stupid. Your life's just what it is.
Yeah.
Stop making it. He was the one who initially, like in my head, I made the connection between don't compare.
Wow.
Right? Because how can I?
Yeah.
Right? I'm okay.
Yeah.
Right? Everything kind of works, except I get a little bit older and back's a little sore, knees hurt, whatever.
Yeah.
He had literally an unexploded round in his stomach.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
I can't compare to that.
Yeah.
Like guys in the media, there's been this big push on like special forces guys. That's why I love Jocko so much, because Jocko kind of keeps it real.
Yeah.
But if you want to, like I said last time, if you want to know what it's like to hear what it's like to be a SEAL, listen to him.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not going to compare myself to him, because in Ramadi and 06, what they were doing was just epic.
Mm-hmm.
That unit, task unit Bruiser, and that's not minimizing every other thing.
Yeah.
You have these kind of things that happen where people are exposed to certain things, and he'd be the first one to tell you that he doesn't compare himself to anybody else.
Yeah.
If anything, he feels like, I loved what I did for so long.
Yeah.
Don't, let's just have a real talk.
Yeah.
So that's got to be part of it.
Because I feel like comparison is what stops you from talking to someone.
Because you feel like you're going to get judged.
Yeah.
Right? Like, again, like my dad, I use him as an example. Like, I don't want my dad to see me as a pussy.
Yeah.
So maybe I held back when I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Or maybe with Matt, he'd be like, stop being a bitch. Like, no, he never say that.
Yeah.
He would just say, look, man, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Look, we're home. He's like, I can sleep with my wife every night. We get to go to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You're going to school. Your life's going to get better.
Yeah.
And I'm not sitting here painting like the last 10 years of my life have not been a struggle.
Yeah.
They have. I've struggled every little bit of the way, whether it be relationships or financially or with school or with work or with this or that. I have the same struggles as everyone else.
But you've attempted to combat that.
I've attempted to not let those struggles become what defines me.
That's really good.
So that's probably 3A. You know, like don't be that descriptor.
Yeah.
Don't be don't throw your hand in the air and quit.
Yeah.
Right? Don't quit on yourself.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. Like I haven't quit on myself. Like I still get up. Like I had a panic attack in February.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Things in my life are good. I shouldn't have had one.
Yeah.
But I had one.
Yeah.
I had to deal with it. I went to the doctor.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, you had a panic attack. Are you feeling stressed? Well, I guess.
I didn't know I was.
Yeah, but this is something I deal with, right?
Yeah.
And so I can't let it define me. I don't want to have another one because it sucked.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to be like, oh, I'm so perfect, nothing's ever happened to me. Of course I've had stuff happen to me. I've lost friends, and I've lost family members, and I've had all these same stresses that you have.
Yeah.
Right? You're going through some stuff too, right?
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk to me about it, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, you're this or you're that. I need to be accepting because I'm coming from a different spot, but still the same.
So when you talked about it, did it help? Like, did it help you because they gave you advice, or even just them listening?
You know what's funny when you talk about it? When you talk about it, it's such a different discussion, right? Because typically what you talk about is all the dumb shit you did.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about the serious stuff.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the passive aggressive way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually good. That's a time where that passivity can kind of help.
Yeah.
Because you start the discussion.
Yeah.
And then you see where it goes, and you're acknowledging the things that are coming out of you, and you're thinking about it on your own. And right, so you start to realize like, okay, well maybe things aren't so bad. Maybe I need to look at this a different way. And I'll like I said, I had people in my life that kind of helped me get to a certain point. And I had goals again. I had a dream again. I had things I wanted to do again. And all these things get washed away when you are in this world of kind of self-denial and loathing and again, just feeling like a general pile of shit. And all of that is, again, it goes back to, I had to say it's okay. Yeah. It's okay to be here. Yeah. Because guess what? Everyone out there, someone else has struggled too. Yeah. It's not just you.
Exactly.
And unfortunately we have too many people that, in this world today, that say, well, look at me, I need, like, GoFundMe, because I had a bad day. Yeah. I lost 5,000 followers on Instagram. My life is ruined. Yeah. So it's kind of, you got to put it in perspective. At the end of the day, like you come back to your sense of self and what's important to you and what you want to do. Yeah. What do you want to be remembered as? What legacy do you want to leave? Yeah. Those things are not an option when you're in this tornado. Yeah. It's only when you get out of it that you start to like, what's really important to me and how do I get to where I want to go? Yeah. And the support systems that are in place. I know we're gonna get into it, but like where I work now, I work for the VA people. I work for the VA. Look at me. I've seen all the people that are talking shit about our organization. I challenge you to come and work with us. Yeah. Because if you're a veteran and you're complaining about the system, come try and fix it with me. Don't sit back and say it's a problem and they don't want to take care of me, because I work there as a nurse and I can tell you I take care of a lot of people and I try really, really hard every day. And so do a lot of other people. Yeah. Now, it's just like any other place you go. There are shitheads. Yeah. And there are people who don't want to be there. Yeah. But then there are people like me, and there are people that I work with that want to take care of you. Yeah. Right? We want to help you. Yeah. So don't sit back and throw shit on the wall and say, oh, they don't want to help me. They don't want to. Yes, it's the government. Yeah. Yes, there's red tape. Yeah. But where else can you get taken care of for the rest of your life for things that are wrong with you that they cost? Yeah. Nowhere. For free. Yeah. Now
take advantage of it. Yeah.
Use it for what it is. Yeah. Stop being part of the problem. Let's be part of the solution. And that's kind of part of why I wanted to do this too. Yeah. Because I've seen it more and more of late. Again, media takes single incidences, but doesn't say like on this floor they take care of 10,000 veterans a year,
Yeah.
and no one has died, and people have gotten better, and
Wow.
this, that, and the other, or this person did this really kind act for a veteran in the Veterans Administration,
Yeah.
or this social worker went above and beyond to place this homeless vet and help them get on their feet, or all these different things that happen. Right?
Yeah.
So
there's good stuff happening.
good stuff happening,
Yeah.
and you know, if you don't have to be in the medical field to do what I do. We need everyone there.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You know what I went through.
Yeah.
And I know what you went through.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Be Real podcast, where you get to hear real stories from real people. If you enjoyed the content, then go ahead and hit that like button on the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, also hit that subscribe button. If not, if you're watching us on Spotify, Google Podcast, or iTunes Podcast, then go ahead and hit that follow button. That way you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And until next time, you guys keep it real.